Hello, Mr. Tinny23 here, and today I'm going to go through the installation process for all the database mods that I release. I'm going to show you two different ways to install the databases themselves, one being the Steam launch options method, and the second being the usual copying the Football Manager files over that everyone is used to. This tutorial will include graphics, the save game file, whether you want to use editor data files, and it'll also include the retro regions as well. So if you do want to skip ahead to certain points, for example, you're not bothered about graphics or editor data, you literally just want to install retro regions, there'll be markers at the bottom, which you can just click to go through to that section. For the purposes of this tutorial, I'll be installing the 1999-2000 database, which is due to come out shortly on FM Scout and all other FM fan sites. However, this will also apply to the 13-14 database and also the upcoming Mad Scientist 0708 database, which personally I'm really looking forward to. Let's get into it. So the first thing you want to do after downloading the file is extract the file you've downloaded. For Mac, you can use a program called Unarchiver, and for PC, you can either use WinRAR or the Windows extract tool. So for Windows, all you need to do to extract the file using WinRAR is to right-click the file here, hover down to the WinRAR section and just click extract here, and then it'll extract it. So once the file is finished extracting, it's going to create a folder in your documents called FM24 and then whichever database it is that you downloaded. So all you need to do is click on that, and then you want to copy the Sport Interactive folder. So just right click copy and go back to documents and then show more options and then paste. And what this is going to do, it's going to create another folder in your Sports Interactive folder, which is for the actual database itself. So the next step is to install the retro regions for the database that you're wanting to use. Just a note, if you are using the save game version, you won't have to do this. All the retro regions are going to be loaded for you. You don't have to install this, so you can just skip ahead. But if you are looking to use the editor data FMF files, you will need to install these regions. So to do that, you just want to go back to the documents folder and back into the download folder. In the download folder, you should see a program files folder. You simply need to copy that and then head over to the C drive and paste that in and just select replace the file in the destination, and that will install the regions for you. Just make sure that the game is closed before you do that, otherwise the regions won't install properly. If you are looking to install the regions on Epic Games or Mac, you are going to have to open all these folders until you reach the support staff EDT. All you want to do is copy that and then just paste it into the folder, which you can find in the description below. Now the regions are installed, I'm going to show you how to use launch options to easily install the mod. So in the mod folder, you'll find launch options code text document. Just want to open that, and you want to copy this line which says user data location. Once you've copied that, you want to head over to Steam, right click on Football Manager 2024, select properties, and that'll bring up this box here. And at the bottom, you'll see that there is a launch options section. In the empty box, you just want to paste that link that we've just copied. In the link, you'll see that there is X's. That is just a username for your PC. If you are unsure on what the username for your PC is, there is two ways you can find out. First one is go back to the database folder, then select C drive, then users, and it should come up here. So as you can see, mine is John W. Alternatively, you can go back to documents, select Sports Interactive, and select the Football Manager folder for the mod that you've downloaded. And then just double click on the bar at the top, copy that link, and then head back over to Steam. And if you just replace the link between the two quotations, that'll be all installed for you. And then just exit onto that. To go back to playing vanilla Football Manager 2024, all you have to do is, same again, just right click, properties, and then just change that to 2024, and that will put you back onto the vanilla game. If you are using the launch options method, you are going to need to copy things like tactics, skins, and views across. What I would suggest is just having a shared folder like I do here. So I've got my filters, skins, tactics. All you have to do, just a quick copy and then paste it in there. And then once you go into the game, they should all appear as normal. So if you don't want to use the launch options method, there is obviously the normal way for installing mods like this, and that is to just replace the files in the Football Manager 2024 folder. So the first thing you need to do for that is get rid of the graphics and the editor data, which is already present for the game. So quite simply what you need to do is just go over here, select editor data and graphics, and then just copy this to absolutely anywhere you want. So what I usually do is I'll just copy it to documents and then let that go off in the background. Will obviously take a while depending on how many graphics that you've got on. So once those two folders have been deleted, you just want to go back to the database download folder, click on Sports Interactive, and then click on the database folder. Then just copy editor data and graphics, go back to the Football Manager 2024 folder, and then paste those in. If you want to use the pre-existing save game option, this is probably the most simplest to install. You're literally just going into the download mod folder, going into Sports Interactive, then obviously the database you've downloaded, head to games, and then you just want to copy the .fm file and go back to documents, Sports Interactive, load Football Manager 2024, and then just copy it into games as you would normally. And then you should be able to just literally just load it in Football Manager and off you go. Now that all the folders and files are in the correct place, we can now look to start a new save on Football Manager. So just do it in the same usual way. Start a new game, create. What I would recommend is just double check that all the editor data files are there. There should be 6 in total. Don't worry about the empty database one. That simply deletes all the current players from the database. So you're not going to have all young kids from nowadays in the database. What I would say is just double check that this is on 24.00. Obviously, when transfer updates come out later on in the year, there are going to be different databases in the drop-down. Just make sure it is the default database that you're using. So just confirm, choose game mode, and then original. And obviously go on advanced setup. Once the game database has finished loading, it's time to select the leagues that you want to play with. There's a couple of different options that you've got here. Obviously, the first one is you can just change leagues as you require. So just go add and remove leagues and select whichever league that you want to use. However, what I would recommend to start with is going down to this button here, which says Game Setup. Click Load. And then you just want to navigate to the database folder. So as you can see, it's Football Manager 1999. And for each mod that I release, it will have a file that you can just literally load up. And that will load all the playable leagues for you. And it'll also load extra players here up the top. So from here, you can just change it to your heart's content. So obviously remove a couple of leagues, or if you want to remove all these players, all you have to do is click Advanced and then just edit this to your heart's content. So if you don't want African players, for example, simply click that. And then obviously once you're finished, just click OK and then go about your business, basically. Just a quick note though, when you do first start this save, it is going to take a while to load, so you're going to have some patience. It's just because of the amount of database changes in there. It may look like your computer's freezing. Don't worry, it's not. It just takes a while. So there you have it, a guide to installing the databases and mods that I release. I really do hope that helps the people that have been struggling. I have had a lot of people come to me on Patreon and say they are struggling, so I really do hope that's helped. By all means, if you are still struggling, leave a comment down below or a comment on the Patreon page, and as soon as I see it, I'm always willing to provide any necessary help that's required.